Welcome. This is your buddy Jim. Welcome Saw Logs, Plastic Hubs. Thank you for stopping by my humble shop, and thank you for watching video today. I got a little project today, so you gather everybody around. Just gather them around the TV, the computer screen, or whatever you use to watch these videos. Watch the old man do something here, and I'll kind of explain before we start. What I'm doing today is making a spacer. The spacer itself goes on between a pulley and a harmonic balancer on a Ford engine for a race car. A lot of times with this stuff here, and I'll just kind of be honest, when you're working with Ford applications, it's hard to find all the parts and pieces easily. I mean, if you're doing small block Chevrolet like we have in our race car, you just go buy pulleys and they pretty well fit. You don't have to do no monkeying around. This is a good friend of mine who's still building vintage Cleveland engines actually to race with, and he runs them in several different divisions. He approached me, said I need an inch thick spacer, and so he gave me an old spacer and brought the aluminum over here and everything. So we're going to start from the saw to the completed operation. Now I do stuff like this a little different than some folks. I found easier ways to zero my parts up to drill my bolt patterns in the mill. We'll be showing that again today. So this is the way I've done it. So actually the way the order operations are going to be saw, lathe face, both sides drill, tap a hole in it, then use the whole piece of threaded rod to, line the mill up. Then we drill all the holes. There's actually 6 holes in the spacer, the same bolt pattern, turned 180 degrees away from each other, one with countersinks so you can bolt it to the harmonic balancer with one set of bolts, and you bolt it to the pulley, the spacer, with another set. So that's the plan. So stick around, let's go have some fun, let's sling some aluminum chips all over this shop. Okay, now what we're going to do, the first step, obviously anything like this, we're going to face it off. I've already got it chucked up. And what we're going to do here, the plan is we're going to face this off, true it up. And we'll face it off both sides, screw it up, drill a 1/2 inch hole, drill a cap a 1/2 inch threaded rod for it. Threaded rods for alignment on the mill. This is going to have basically the same bolt pattern 180 degrees apart, because we're going to bolt this to the harmonic balancer and then the pulley will bolt to it. What the customer requested, instead of 3 bolts. We're going to face this off to where it's exactly 1 inch thick. I cut it about 6" long. Hopefully everything will face out like we want it to. Now we'll come back to the lathe and we're going to bore this thing later out. The reason I'm doing it this way is to make it easier to set up on the mill. So that's the first phase. I'm going to break the edge here. And I've already, see right here, I've got a little bit of, let me check my widths and I'll be right back, see if I can take it off. I had to take about 30 more thousandths off to clean the edge up. I've still got plenty of room to work, so that's going to be good. I'm going to go ahead and get this corner broke from the file while it's facing this side. We're not turning the OD in. So I'll bring you back. I'm going to constantly orient this thing to the same spot every time. It's going to go in now the lathe at least 3 times. So what I'm doing now is establishing I've got a 0. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to take the first cut. I'm going to see how much I got. I'm going to split it up. Probably me a finishing cut. So I got about 100 thousandths. Actually about 90. So I'm going to take a little bit. I'm going to take about 65 or so at one shot here. So that's what we're going to do. And I'll bring you back and we'll do the last pace. Okay. So this is the last pace. I'm just going to buzz this off right quick. This should be right at 1 inch. Plus or minus a couple of thousand. I'm trying to pick the speed up a little bit to get a little quicker finish. It don't look like I'm going to get it. Bad thing about these bigger sizes is I can't use my pyrite aluminum insert for it. Alright, there. Should be pretty dang close to 1 inch. Well, it's about 5 thousandths under 1 inch, so I guess that will have to do. That's close enough for this. Alright, we'll just set up the drill and tap this thing. Okay, center drill. Tap drill. Now we'll set up the tapping. I always use cutting oil to tap with. I don't care whether it's aluminum, steel, or whatnot. It's just so much better and less trouble. Even the aluminum falls. Oh, tap's trying to spin. I thought I had it tight enough. All right. There we go. One threaded open. Okay, now you see what I've got going on now. So what I'm going to do is work my Y here, and then I can clamp my X. What I've got is 0. That's going to be 0. There's no way to change it, no way to modify it. I mean, is it perfectly indicated 0? Well, that's up for debate. And I'm going to use this one parallel and clamp it down to it, because all we're going to do is put 3 holes in it. So I want this parallel to be tight, so I'll just unscrew this and we go ahead and get this, make sure this stays where it's supposed to. Okay, now I've got 0, 0 set. I'll check all this again in a second once I tighten it up. And now we're ready to drill the first hole. What I'm going to do is go ahead and put in the coordinates that I need. And I'll be right back and we'll get started. It's a simple matter. The hardest thing about any of these jobs is finding zero. The reason I'm using wood parallel, I'm going to put 3. This way I'll miss all 3 of my holes. And then we can figure out what we're going to do next. Okay, I'm going to show you the first one we're going to drill. Now these are going to be countersunk. So we're going to go back over this again here in just a minute. I'm just going to drill that really, really good. And let me double check my clearance hole right fast before I do this. And make sure I'm just about right on my clearance holes. Yep. What I've done is I took the old pulley and the pulley itself, and then I matched the clearance holes to the pulley. So that's the way I did it. So now we're going to drill the clearance holes. Let me grab a little bit of coolant. I'm not going to put the other in. I may check it just in a second. If I happen to have a countersink that'll work, I will, but I'm going to countersink them all together, I think would be lots better. Of course, these will be deburred on the back side too once we get them. I like using arc bolt. Anytime I can use the vise and arc bolt and DRO, I'll do. I've drilled probably, I've got a rotary table and I have never ever used it. Because most of the work I do, I can handle it just like this. That arc bolt circles much. Let me just kind of move it on to the second one and the third one. I'll probably bring you back on the last hole when I'm drilling. Okay, there we go. We need to go from 0 to 400 thousandths on this. So we're going to do it and check it. Put this countersinking at the work. 400 thousandths will give us a little bit deeper than what it is. It's still a good bit of a lock bolt. I'm going to go about 425. Okay, and we're going to take this out. We'll check this countersink right now. See if this is going to work. I wasn't planning on doing it. Sometimes if I've got a few countersinks, sometimes my countersinks just don't overlap good. Oh yeah, there's another thing wrong with that. See, now he'll have to use longer bolts. So now we've got everything we need except chamfer. Let me get that set up and get a chamfer tool. We'll chamfer this thing out and we'll finish this sucker off, the first ones. Okay, now we got this is going to be the last countersink. And it seems like every time we start to spindle up, hear that? My DRO is so darn sensitive that this table will move 2 tenths and it starts beeping. So, you know, it's frustrating to try to get this right, get it zeroed, tighten down, and then your DRO starts that noise up. I mean, there ought to be a silence feature in this thing, because 2 tenths on this is not going to hurt a thing. So I don't know why. This is the function of it, and it does. The world is really bad for it, and it's frustrating when you're trying to work with it, and it's doing that. But there ain't nothing I can do about it. It's one of them things I try to dial it in, and then it seems like you start to spindle up. Any vibration moves it. So I'm trying just to get these by eyeball, so they look about the same. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to set up to drill tap the other holes. Okay, this is the second side. As usual, we got a lot of beeping going on. Every time you fire a spindle with this machine, that just a tenth. That's the only thing I hate about doing it this way is everybody on top. Well, so we're going to thread this. That's the first hole. We got 2 more to do of these, and it just said one of them days every time you start it up, the DRO is saying it moves. I mean, you got a tap down in it. How's it moving 4/10? I can't figure that out, but it seems to think it is. So we got to drill 3 more holes. Let's just get them all done. Okay, here we go. Now, this is the very last tap hole, and we're gonna, so this will be where the pulley will actually bolt to this, not to the harmonic balancer. And so it's got plenty of threads in it. I may end up trying to go in from the other side and hand thread it. All right. I'm going to clear the DRO out and put the thing back in high gear. I'm just going to run over this with my hands, make sure there ain't no burrs on the top of any of this. Because what we're going to do is one right here, it's got a little bit of a burr. I don't know if I just didn't chamfer it enough or what. I got to chamfer the other side, so the easiest way to do this, well, I got the is just to take the vise loose. I'm just going to turn this around on the vise, because this is all I'm going to do is just turn around. I got that. I didn't. So, okay. Chamfer that in, and we'll just flip this over. All these burrs are on the other side, so we're just going to line the V-burr hole up. And there's a little chamfer on it. Loose this up and we can float it. Just get each and every hole to sort of float it with the V-burr tool. In fact, I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. Let's see. I'm just going to chamfer these off. See, get that one the way I want it. I put this back in the lead before I do any more. Okay. All right, that's all chamfered. Let me double check everything. Now we go back in. Now the front. Now we go in and open it up. Move up a little bit, take a spade drill, back in there, fish punching it out. is the hole we'll start the bore with. We get a boring bar. I can show you the first boring pass. We'll bore this out to roughly 2.5 inches. Take a couple of passes as you see I'm getting started. I'm going to go ahead and get this roughed out. And we'll get, I mean, this don't have to again be close. All this is a clearance hole. I haven't got enough Allen bolts to put this together like he had it. He uses 3/8. So this is what it's for. Space that pulley out and make alignments. When you build these motors, sometimes you have to use different aftermarket pulleys in different places. So sometimes you got to space them differently for your application. So that's what this whole thing was for, so you get this pulley out about 1 inch. And they space them all kind of different ways. This is, excuse me, a thinner one that they had. I actually made one like it for them already. A thinner, a little thicker. So that's what we got. Well, you survived another video with me. I hope you enjoyed it today. This project's kind of been put off a little bit, not because more or less my time has been compressed the last week, 10 days. Just had a lot of personal stuff going on. My madam's took a few days of vacation. One of our granddaughters has been staying with us, and so just been busy with other family stuff instead of being in the shop. So it kind of threw me a little behind on this. I've got another project to do for this same friend that I'll probably do next week after the 4th. That's when I get a chance, because it's going to be involved, a little bit more involved too. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope you like, hope you subscribe, ding the bell for notifications. Hey, and come on back by. And if you don't want to do any of that stuff, I appreciate you stopping by for this one video. You know, stop by, depends on what I'm doing. I've oftentimes said that I don't care whose channel it is, there's some videos that just don't appeal to everybody. This isn't an income producing thing, YouTube, for me, no more than the machine shop's an income producing item for me. It's a hobby. So, I don't get tore up if I don't get all the views of my subscribers plus some. I'm not all tore up. It's out here in the archives, and somebody may 5 years ago from now come across it. If they do, then hey, that's wonderful and great. I just wanted to thank you for stopping by. We'll see you in that very next video, and you guys have a great day.